All right, let's go to Susan Crabtree, the Real Clear Politics White House national correspondent. Susan, obviously a different tone, a different tenor. That could change as this presidency ensues. But what do you think of that? At least that stark contrast.
Yeah, it's a portrait in contrast. You had President Trump. He waited until June to have his first full cabinet meeting in person. And it was very self-congratulatory. And you had Reince Priebus talking about how it was wonderful to serve him, and this was all on camera. This was way more buttoned up. It's what we come to expect from the Biden administration. No questions. As you approach it as a journalist, you had totally different approaches. You had to become prepared for those cabinet meetings, those pool sprays. When you went into the Oval Office, or in this case, the cabinet room, you had to put on your armor because you may tango with the president. He would take your questions often. This time, no questions taken, ushered out the door. Very routine, very orderly, but not a lot of give and take, both with his cabinet members that we saw or with the press that were there to chronicle it. So, yes, a completely different...
Well, we don't know what was going on after those... to be fair, we don't know what was going on after those cameras left. But I do think you're right about this, Susan, that it will be a different policy here. Maybe going back to cabinet meetings and how they were handled pre-Donald Trump, where you really didn't know what went on in those meetings. And you know, that could be good or bad, depending on your point of view. But it does set up cabinet members as if they don't have enough to worry about then to share things that they might not want to share in a public forum in that case. This president tends to keep his White House events limited, his White House calendar very limited, at least to the public, adding more of a mystery to it. I don't know if that's good or bad, maybe just returning to what was. What do you think?
Well, certainly if you have a more private setting, especially for the first meetings, you're going to build a trust level with your cabinet. You're going to build sort of a understanding with them about their marching orders, maybe that may not want to be public yet. They could share some concerns that they have with you that are much more things that you might want to, address and troubleshoot ahead of time. So these are two different, very, very different styles. I think President Obama was a little bit more in between. I covered him as well. He had some engagement with the press, some back and forth, and some comedy. Yeah. We're not seeing that, even though Joe Biden was known for that in the Senate and as vice president. We're not seeing that easy rapport that he has with both his staff, his cabinet members, or the press. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, we get very little inkling of what's going on there, but it was fascinating just to juxtapose that with Donald Trump today. Still early, though. Anything could happen. Susan Crabtree, great seeing you again, my friend.